Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you at practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Blog Talk Radio.
Caution, the tea is hot. Blow it off first, okay? Dishing tea with Big Meech.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish the tea. And you're dishing darlings with Big Meech.
Can't wait. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling. And hello out there. in Blog Talk Radio land here in the glorious United States and across the globe. Hello to my friends in Germany and France and Italy and the Caribbean island, and to all of you in the sound of my voice. And it's another glorious day, my tea sippers. And I hope you have all of your crumpets together because you know what time it is, honey. It's time to dish tea, and you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meats. Hello there, babies. Yes, it is Tuesday, March 31st. I'm going to say a happy birthday to one of my sons, Adele Graylin, also known as Grizzly here in Atlanta. Happy birthday to you and to all the other children who are celebrating birthdays today. As a matter of fact, I think, I ain't going to tell his age. However, today is also my anniversary. 8 years ago today, I transplanted myself from Detroit to the ATL. So, yes, it is officially now 8 years that I've been here in Atlanta, and we've had some exciting times here. And as life always does, honey, you know, we have ups and downs and highs and lows and all of those things. But today is officially 8 years that I've been a resident of the city of Atlanta. So I'm excited. We got a few things up under our belts. Quite a few accomplishments here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next few years are going to bring, and as far as my tenure here in Atlanta is concerned, I'm not sure, but we're going to see where the next 8 years take us. Okay, ha ha ha. So yes, my darlings, yes. Today we're going to give you a wonderful old show. I have a double feature for you today, honey. Okay. A few weeks ago we were having some major technical difficulties here, and I wanted to let you guys know that we had to reschedule a couple of things. So today, on this special edition show, I have a doubleheader for you coming in. But before I get into who's going to be on the show, I want you to know if you have questions, comments, or concerns, and want to come on in, please feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. Okay, if you're listening by computer and want to join in on the conversation, and I am launching now the chat room. I always forget lately I've been forgetting to open up my chat room, honey. But the tea room is open, and you can converse with us over there if you wish, darling. Please note that you have to complete a profile page if you want to interact with everyone who's going to be over there. Right now it's just me. Okay. But if you create a profile page, we get to interact. Otherwise, you have the word guest and the number by your name, and you'll be able to see what's going on, okay? But let me say this, that if you come over there to dish your tea, honey, dish your tea in here responsibly. Y'all know we're into this whole thing now of texting and carrying on, and we're living our lives now by 140 characters and things. So because we're not listening or hearing folks speak in their speech patterns or whatever, we are now, basing the way folks respond on our own experiences and things, and thinking as though, someone may be trying to come out of a bag on you or trying to neck girl, girlfriend, your finger roll, your neck roll, or whatever, and that may not be the case. So please come over here and dish your tea responsibly, because if I come in and find that you're cutting up, I'm going to cut you out. Yes, I am. Okay. So having said that, let me say this, that dishing tea with Big Meech is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the situations at hand. So your listening discretion is advised. I will repeat. Dishing tea with Big Meech is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the situation at hand. So your listening discretion is advised. If you have children and things, now is the time to put them in the other room. Let them go on and watch Dora or SpongeBob or Bert and Ernie or whoever the case may be, Snuffleupagus and Big Bird and all the children, honey. Let them go over there because now it's time for the grown and sexy to become the seasoned and sophisticated, okay? So, ha, 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 yes, baby, yeah. So having said all that, y'all know I'm in the last few days of my birthday season. So, honey, I'm a fresh 45, and I love it. And so I have to tell you now, if you're new to the show, baby, I do have a potty mouth. I make no excuses for it because I've earned the right to every 3, 4, 5, 17, 52, 196 letter and or syllable word that comes out of my mouth. Okay? So I'm telling you, please govern yourselves accordingly, honey. If you're at work, now is the time for you to turn your volumes down to a respectful level and or put your headphones on and all of that good shit because, honey, none of you bitches will come to me at the dollar store, at the Dollar Tree, at the Family Dollar, at the General Dollar. I don't care where I am. You're not going to come to me and say, oh, I got rolled up, I got demerits, I got this, I got that, simply because you are listening to my program, honey. No, you got them because you did not govern yourself accordingly. So, babies, I don't know what bag I'm coming out of. Do know that I am coming out of one. So consider yourselves warned. Okay? Ha, 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 ha. I live. Okay, special announcement for you. Please be sure to go to www.dishingtea.com for more information on how you can help us with No Time for the Pain. Y'all know I'm a playwright, and No Time for the Pain will be making its Atlanta debut this October 23rd, 24th, and October 30th. We have 4 shows scheduled, and we got to put the money in the kitty. So, darlings, right now, immediately we have our raffle going on. We have raffle tickets that are $1 each. $1 can win you 200, darlings. Yes. Okay. The drawing will be held live here on the program on May 6th. So we got until May 6th to get all these tickets sold so that you can put your coin in the pot, honey, and you can sit up there and be the winning number, okay? All tickets are $1. And if you're not in the Atlanta area or in the Detroit area where you can get a hard ticket from us, we do have virtual tickets available where you can go to the PayPal account. You can buy however many tickets you wish, 5, 10, 20, 25, or whatever you want to donate. And however you do that, we will put your name into the pot that many times. For every dollar you spend, your name will go into the pot for the drawing, and you too can be a part of it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so if you're over there in Germany or France or Italy or wherever, you too can participate by going to PayPal and making your contributions there. We got to put $20,000 in the kitty, children. $20,000. Oh, okay. And so I'm hoping that we can count on your love and your support. Again, go to dishingtea.com for more information on how you can become a sponsor. We do have other sponsorship packages available where you can come on in and advertise in our playbill and other fun things. We do have No Time for the Pay merchandise for our T-shirts and coffee mugs or tea mugs and artwork that we do have for sale, 11 by 17 prints of the logo that we're using for the play, and also we have that on a 6 by 8 ceramic tile plaque. So yes, $20 each. The T-shirts ranges from sizes small to 4X. One-sided printing shirts are $20. Double-sided printing, the shirts are $30 plus a $5 shipping. So we just call it $25 and $35. Okay. If you need sizes larger than the 4X, we can accommodate, but the charge goes up. There's a slight little charge. We have to charge a little bit more. So the shirts for you, 5, 6, 7, 8X. Those shirts will be $30 and plus $5. So it'll be $35 single-sided, $45 double-sided, okay? Printing, that is. So please, again, go to www.dishingtea.com, okay? So now, having said that, let me take a little break here because I'm hearing myself wheeze, so I'm going to take a hit of my asthma medicine. And when we come back, we're going to get into this show. I have 2 Wonderful, wonderful brothers coming onto the show, honey. They're social conscious rappers who are going to let us into their world, and we're going to talk about why it is that their movement is very, very, very important. As you see, I started the show off, honey. We're taking it to the streets. This is a movement for peace, okay? A movement for peace amongst this land, honey. So, yes, let me do this, and when I come back, I'm going to introduce you to our brothers that are going to be coming on to the show. So, having said that, I will talk to you in just a few moments.
Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in urban culture and lifestyle. Spearheaded by the Henry Hingers of hip-hop, Mr. Angelo Ellaby, Double Exposure serves to educate its clients about the dollars and cents of the music industry. For more information about Double Exposure Media Relations, call 201-224-6510. 201-224-6510. Double Exposure Media Relations.
Dishing Tea Entertainment, deliciously exposing your palate to a cornucopia of rainbow-colored dreams and a black and white reality, while cultivating the masses through a delicate blend of stage, screen, television, radio, print, and social media initiatives. For more information about Dishing Tea Entertainment, call Big Meech at 404-914-5610 or visit www.dishingtea.com. An educator, an entrepreneur, a poet, an artist. Sharon Williams Dean is Art by Sold, creating beautifully exquisite artwork for your home, business, gifts, or any special occasion. For more information, contact Art by Sold at 313-740-4904 or visit the gallery at www.artbysold.com. That's www.artbysold.com. The Caribbean American Boys Entertainment. We specialize in jerk and conch food catering, party promotions and emceeing, entertainment with the Caribbean swagger, island fever on the mainland, bam bam. We also provide customized tour guides through gay-friendly Bahamas to all the hot spots of dining and club life events. Mr. Silvano T. DeMarco is the founder and CEO of the CABC. For more information, please contact him at CaribbeanBoysATL@yahoo.com. That's Caribbean Boys with a Z, ATL, at yahoo.com, or on Facebook at Facebook.com/Silvano T. DeMarco. That's Facebook.com/Silvano T. DMARCO. Caribbean American Boys Entertainment. Island Fever on the mainland. Bam bam.
All right. And we are back. God damn it. Child, every time I have something important to do with the show, there seems to be something that goes on here. Now, I know we got this long, big-ass break of silence, and that's because the system decided to lock me out, and I had to reboot the entire damn thing. And, of course, when I'm playing stuff, my microphone is down, and I can't come on and talk you through what I'm doing. So I'm shut out. The show is shut out. This is gone. That's gone. And so we just got all this damn dead air, and I'm pissed. Okay? I'm so fucking pissed right now. However, like I always know, that anytime there's something important, honey, we then have to make sure that the message goes forth. So we are back, and I'm just going to go right on off into this because of all this, it just threw off what I was trying to do to make this kind of cute. However, we still going to be cute, okay? All right, now today, my darlings, we're going to bring you a festive cup of tea as we will be hearing from the voice of the youth, or rather at least those who are on the forefront of making the next generation's voices be heard. With all the violence against our youth that has plagued our country and the world, these brothers today will bring us their message of hope and vitality as they say, hands up, don't shoot, and throw your peace signs up, okay? Today we will be joined by Carlethal, this brother with the message of solidarity and unity as he brings forth why he says throw your peace signs up instead of the gang flags and the hood representation insignias that have only added to the fear and violent nature of our youth today. Then, later we will talk with Mr. K.Y.D. Works. He returns so we can really get into his movement of hands up, don't shoot, and the peace rally battle cry as we are looking for solutions to stopping the senseless police killings of our young black men in this country. So this is going to be a strong and powerful pot of tea, my darling, so make sure that you have all of your crumpets to share. So without any further ado, let's get started. I do believe this is the one and only Mr. Carlethal on the line. Carlethal, you there with me, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, my brother. How you doing?
I am everything, and everything is me. And I'm a little pissed right now because of what we're going through to get this message out here. But I'm going to make sure that this happens. So, in spite of it all, and see, I guess this is just going to attribute to the frustration that a lot of us feel what's going on with the country, what's going on with, just the people at hand, our youth. A lot of times, as you heard earlier, I'm 45 now, so I think my generation and older, we don't pay attention to you guys anymore. We don't pay attention to, or we have found as though, or feel as though, we have nothing to contribute or don't understand the youth today because we don't understand their voice. And so with brothers like you who are on the forefront of letting the voices be heard for this generation, we have to stand back and applaud you and give you the platform because oftentimes I think my generation want our voices to come out of y'all's mouth, And so that's why we're here today. So let's get started and find out exactly who Carlethal is and why this message is so important.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, you hear me? Oh,
yeah.
How you doing? All right, I'm Carlethal. I'm actually an urban rock hip-hop artist, and I want a movement, of course, for peace. We have a record that's called Peace Signs Up. This record is intertwined with many background names which are supporting the actual project, like Ice-T, Jay Sean, Michael Hahn, et cetera, et cetera. It's a positive movement in the right direction towards a better tomorrow, as well as hope and faith for a better tomorrow.
Okay, well, dig that. So now coming from that hip-hop generation, Explain to me, why this is so important. Because what we know of hip hop, when hip hop first started, what I know about it, it was always about the social consciousness. It was fun in it. The messages were pure and clear about, from, I go to work to, understanding that education was the key. You had to fight the power and those kinds of messages. And it was always about making sure that you had a strong mind, that you understood what was going on so that you don't get duped. But then the music changed, and then we got into this whole angry protest kind of thing. And then it changed again we went to angry protesting to just downright defiance, And now, in that defiance, it's the defiance that have now shaped the culture. Hip-hop now has become just a culture that says violence, destruction, defiance, and mischievousness. So now, how do you, as a hip hop artist, come to the table and say that's not what we're all about, and we're here to give a new image of that, because there's good and bad in all. So we want to give the other side of this. How do you do that?
Well, I think that the genre of when it comes to any genre of any sort of sound or vision, being that we're dealing here with sound, the hip hop community has always received backlash in the past all the way till now, being that a lot of the music promotes the derogatory of women as well as violence, et cetera, et cetera. I just think that that's just one portion of the music. It all breaks down to the same thing: expression. Even when you have an artist that talks about pulling out guns and shooting, he might or she might be living within that surroundings, or maybe even living the actual scenario and being that individual. So that's the way they express themselves. So me, myself, as an artist, and, respecting the artistry, I don't knock those things. I think that as I am an artist, that I talk about, what I've been through, but I also give the actual other side of it, the remedy to the actual disease, itself. What is the remedy? I think a lot of artists, maybe where they make mistakes, is they leave their listeners as well as, potential listeners lost in a place where they listen to the music, and then they say, well, he was just talking about shooting people. He didn't talk about how you can avoid getting shot by these people, And I think that this is where, an artist like myself comes in. I may be able to talk about, what goes on with the shootings, but then I'm able to give you a resolution behind it. How do we deal with it? How do we get the message from a negative to a positive? I can go on as an artist and make these peace records and just talk about the nice things in life. The reality is, if you listen to the record, the Peace Signs Up record, there it talks about the young man killing his father, but the way I deliver it, it gives you the remedy, the solution on how to get past these points. That's what makes it different. But again, going back into the audience and the way people dictate hip hop, they just need to understand that, even if an artist is talking about pulling guns and all that, most of these artists aren't even living that. So if you're a fool to go be to get think that these artists that are portraying this are living this, and you're going to go and do the same thing, your luck is not like that. Like, you're going to stay where you don't have the money to get you out of jail. So that's what the artist is telling you. Hey, I may be out there riding like this, but I have X amount of $1 million behind me to get me out of jail. That's what he's not telling you. With these peace records, it gives you all that. It gives you more of the knowledge base. But I think as individuals, we need to come to our own individual selves and understand that we are all one, as well as you are also individuals. So you are accountable for your own actions. You can't blame it on the record. You can't blame it on the style. You can't blame it on the genre. So for those artists who are getting backlash in hip-hop, I hope that this helps them move past that, when they're promoting violence. Hey, we're not promoting violence. We're talking about the realities of your everyday living in your everyday life and your solutions, and another day of being able to say, hey, I'm not alone, and there is hope out there. Someone else is going through what or has gone through, or acknowledges what it is that I've gone or I'm about to go through.
Okay, we'll dig that. Now, as an artist, there's a lot of responsibility that's placed on artistry or artists when it comes down to being role models and being, having your finger on the pulse of society, and yet still having leadership and having folks to follow you and having folks to look up to you for direction and guidance. So how does Carlethal get together, and what is your message of, along with saying, okay, I'm here on a peace movement, what there is your creed that you stand for? I'm sure you have children or nieces and nephews and carrying on that you have to be a beacon of light for. So what is it that your artistry does that helps you in your everyday life, and then what does your everyday life bring to your artistry?
I think to put them together and trying to, and put it all in one, the way you're saying it is, me, I have two young girls, a 3 and a 5, and 3 and 6. Sorry about that. And I have to be a major example for them. I want them to have a better tomorrow. But away from them, if I didn't have them, or if I go back to the times a couple of years ago when I didn't have them, my movement has always been to start with the kids. To be able to go into every man's household and be able to teach from young to old. It's very easy for me to gravitate and get the understanding and the following of older folks and middle age and young teens. But I think you can say something stronger when you can gravitate and grab the younger youth. And we're able to do that at this point. With this one particular record, most of my career I've made records for different genres, different groups of people, where I say, hey, I got a little bit for everyone. This one particular record here speaks for everyone all at once. We were lucky to be able to, design and be able to find the lightning in the bottle and, and be able to extract that and create more, so the movement where we're at and where we stand for is for the youth, starting with the youth. It starts within the home. Peace starts within the home. On this plight, we've had major support from, we've been very lucky with this project and been able to go into the commercial world, of radio and, hopefully down the road television. But we've been able to, gravitate, and we'll be in you guys' neck of the woods in your town, and that's on major radio down there now, coming up hopefully, for summertime, late spring. But it starts within the home. This is what we're promoting, what we're doing. I have a couple of dates up here in the northern area. With going into the schools, we have the public library behind us. We have the sheriff's department has gotten in. We've gotten bullying and self-defense martial arts schools to come in and teach behind the Peace Sign That project. So again, it starts with the youth. That's where the change comes. But I always say this, and I say this to any listener that's out there: if you want to make change, you have to become the change. You have to get in to be able to change. You can't sit on the outside. It's almost like some people tell you to go vote. If you can talk about who's running the world and what Republicans, what the Democrats, Conservatives, it doesn't matter. If you're not voting, it means nothing. If you don't go out there and vote, if you go out there and vote, now you mean something. Now you might be able to change it. You have to get in to change it. So this is what we've done here. We've taken this project. We've gone down all the chambers, streaming radio, podcasts, regular radio, conferences. We were just down in the the Winter Music Conference down in Miami, hitting all the house DJs over there, which is away from the hip, but they've been able to gravitate with the project also. So again, we're pushing it towards the kids. We know that the adults love it. They like to hear this positive thing. I love the positive stuff, but these kids are the most important thing because they're the ones that run this social media world.
All right. Well, here, let's get into the song, because I noticed that this particular song here took a different spin, because the whole artistry of the song, the track itself, and then you have the mezzo maven herself, her name is Bridget Cooper, on the track as well. And I'm understanding that William Killebrew and Isaiah and Jerry Nicholson are very instrumental of putting this together. So when you guys were into the production of all of this, so how did this project come together for you? And wait a minute, you know what? I'm gonna help you out here because 240-535. Come on up in here and help the brother out like you did on the track.
Hey, Carlito.
Hey, Bree, how you doing, guys?
I'm good. Hey, Meech.
Hey, baby.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Honey, I am everything, and everything is me. I wanted to bring you in on this with Carlito because when I listened to the song, we debuted the song when I had you on this show last, and when Carlito came across my desk, it was like, okay, we need to. We interested in having him come onto the show. I kept looking at the song. I said, why do I know this song? Why do I know this song? When I played it, I said, oh, shit. Okay, yes, I know the song. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to give him a little jolt, honey. This particular song was a collaborative effort. So I wanted to bring you in on it as well, and then we're going to introduce the song to the audience again so that folks can get into understanding and throw your peace signs up. And bringing this project together, we're fusing many different genres. We have the opera genre as well as the hip-hop, which, a lot of people may not associate together, So why is that so important that, this is a whole new step in musical marriage, if you will, and then also introducing the audiences to a whole new collaboration and that new things work, even though it's an old message about of the pieces, bringing your piece together and a peace movement, but it's brought in a new format that I think the kids will listen to. So, y'all take that and explain that to me about how this story is going to be told through this medium.
Yeah, well, for me, the piece came about, like you said, it was with William Killebrew of the Killebrew Foundation. He had this idea for the way he thought it should sound, just the music part of it. He brings in two gentlemen, Isaiah Coleman and then also Jerry Nickerson. And what they did was basically come up with this really great arrangement. And I explained to them, I was like, I have to be honest with my own tone and my voice. And primarily, I'm a classical singer. And I don't want to manipulate that too much where it sounds like, it's phony and fake. So William, who loves classical music, he was just like, no, let's just keep your voice as it is. So the song originally has gone through a few transitions. So after the song, we'll pick up later, that's another conversation, but after the song was completed, at the time, Double Exposure, Angelo Ellerby was my manager. And he was listening to the song. He's like, this is awesome. And he's like, I have another really great rapper that I would love to, put this song with, like put the music with. And he tells a really great message about peace. And I was like, okay, well, let's get together and let's hear it. So we did a lot of this, just, email back and forth, conversations over the phone, what we both thought it should sound like. And Carlito was very adamant about the message that he wanted to send. And my biggest thing was that I wanted to make sure the message represented all kids, all youth, young adults, those kids who are kind of in the tween years, so that they could identify. And people need to understand that there are a lot of kids that literally are not from the streets, but they can identify with what is going on. Right. And I wanted to, and that's kind of my background, and I wanted to make sure that those kids could actually tap into the song, because what you don't want to do is create a disconnect as far as, you have one group of kids who think, that doesn't happen to me, that's over there. But what they need to understand is that it happens to all of us. It touches our lives in some capacity. And I really feel like Carlito came through with that message where it just united everything. And I thought that the biggest thing that because the song talks about truth and love and understanding and how we all have to stand up for each other and with each other, that the fact that I was able to just maintain the style of my voice and in the message, instead of trying to manipulate it and make it sound like a bunch of other stuff through auto-tune and all of that stuff, I thought it was really just from an organic place that we kept the way my sound was, and we could appeal to all audiences, stretched people who never really listened to classical music. So I think it's really great, and it also perks up the ears to people who listen to a lot of R&B or rap all the time. Sometimes it starts to sound a lot of the same way. So I feel like it's like, oh wait, this is different. Let's hear what this has to say, and then it really makes people tune in. At least that's from my perspective.
All right. Now, Carlethal, let's hear it from yours, because I'm sure when this fusion came together, what was your first initial reaction, and then how were you able to make peace with them?
Can you repeat that? You said that. How can I make the initiative? I didn't hear what you said. You broke up.
I was saying, how did this come together for you when this idea came about? The merger and the fusion of hip hop and opera, and coming together like this. What was that for you initially, and then how did you make peace with it and say, "Oh, this is cool," and yeah, I'm on board?
I think it came at a perfect time in my life where I was actually going through a lot with family, associates around me that are even currently today around me. Mr. Ellaby and the Vicksburg reached out to me, and they reached out to me towards getting the project, getting involved with the project. And throughout that time, basically, I sat on the project for a while. I took it, put my heart and soul into being able to, get the sound that Bridget Cooper, as well as, Mr. Ellaby and, Double Exposure was looking for, according to the way things were running at the point in time and period of my life. I was able to put this together, and I said, through all this mayhem that was happening to me, I can either put together something that has to do with mayhem, or I can put the mayhem with the solution. And I just, I always say it's godly, and it's the lightning that God sent. And, we're able to come up with peace signs up with this project. That's really what it was. There was really no sit down and say, hey, I'm going to sit down and write this peace record, and this is what it's going to be. And, I have Bridget Cooper. I think everything just happened to work at the same time. I heard Bree's voice on this record. I heard what they had. I was going through the certain things in my life. Mr. Ellaby reached out to me, and the magic just happened. I think right there, God just stepped in and said, hey, this is what it is. For all the mayhem and everything that you have, you're going to go in there, you're going to, set the peace tone. That's what it is. So I say this came driven by God. I mean, when you're writing music and you're doing music, I can tell you I know where it comes from. Yeah, it comes from my hand, but you don't really know where it comes from. I think it comes from deep from inside, and it's deeper than coming from the inside. For me, it comes, my faith and spirit, where it belongs. It belongs to God. So I believe that everything that I write down, everything that I put my heart and soul into when it comes to music and reaching the masses comes from God. So the rest just came from God.
I was going to say, can I jump in, Meech? Meech, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add that, the process wasn't like an overnight process. It took quite a few months to get this completed. But I just want to say that I recall that at the time, Carlethal just kept talking to me about the song, about his perspective, because even I was kind of like, I don't know. But just hearing it, all of a sudden, the final product, and he was just like, no, you have to. He just kept talking to me about it and what his view was. And then the fact that I was just going through so much personally. And I remember Carlethal just saying, you know what, all we're going to do is focus on this music. That's all you're going to do. We're just going to focus it, because at the end of the day, when it gets released, that's what it's about, focusing on the message of the song. And literally, like, that song kept me through that really dark time in my personal life. And so I think there's also an underlying message in there, because if it hadn't been for Carlito just reminding me to just focus through all. Remember that, Carlito? Like, I was just like, you call me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, just personal stuff.
We went through it, but I say in the midst of all that, I believe because of, I think everybody that was collaborated effort on this particular project, I believe we were all going through something, even those who I might have not spoke to. And the reality is, I think that God stepped in, and this is where it all just came from. I would reiterate to Bree and tell her, you got to push it, but I think that it wasn't me. I believe it was more God, man. And I got to sit back and really believe that, the transition of my life through that time till now has been phenomenal. All the dark holes that I was in had basically been spawned with nothing but light. So that was just God. He had to basically come in and say, hey, for you to be able to write this and get this down packed and have these ideas, you gotta go through this dark stage of your life, and so does Blue, and so does everyone else. So everything has to seem dark around you, and that's where you're gonna find the light. And I believe that's how we all found the light. I'm addicted to, when I do something, I keep going strong with it, and that's just been my plight with it. That's what it's been. I don't discredit nobody. I give everybody credit due. I couldn't do it without anyone. I couldn't do it without Angela's call. I couldn't do it without Bree's voice. I couldn't do it without anyone else that was involved recording this operation and getting it done. Everybody that has played a part till this very moment right now has been instrumented by God.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to play the song here. I got K.Y.D sitting up there. He's going to come on in a few moments, and he's going to add his little brand to it, because you brothers are on this forefront with this peace movement. And, so let's get into this. Throw your peace signs up.
like we pain stain. The world's so cold, don't plan on staying. We all born to die. With the hope to stay alive, we accomplish what we try. Look them in the eye, and all the world is yours. And throw your peace signs high. You don't have to die to find the peace in I. When we a team, we ride. As family, we ride. Humanity divine, we climb. Promise to love in due time. And take it to the place we could ride together. We could learn to love. What if we die together? What if we never give up? What if it's all just love? Keep on looking for purpose. Cause you could be touched, so put your peace signs up. We could ride together. We could learn to love. What if we die together? What if we never give up? What if it's all just love? Keep on looking for purpose. Cause you could be touched, so put your peace signs up. Put your peace signs up. Put your peace signs up. We could ride together. We could learn to love. Put your peace signs up. What if we die together? What if we never give up? Put your peace signs up. In New York, we put our peace signs up. California love, put your peace signs up. The USA, put your peace signs up. North Korea, put your peace signs up. Even in China, they got their peace signs up. Muslim and Jews, put your peace signs up. Russia and Cuba, put your peace signs up. The UK and India, put your peace signs up. Latin America, put your peace signs up. Put your peace signs up. I want to see the whole world with their peace signs up now. I ain't forgot you. This track ain't long enough.
This track ain't long enough, honey. I ain't forgot you. All right, and all right again. So now that we're on to this, and this is picking up momentum, I'm sure, because it's infectious, you know, that whole little bop, honey, put your peace signs up, you know, put your peace signs up. That there, when I first heard this, you know, I was like, that's a T-shirt, you know, put your peace signs up, you know, and it goes into the whole just to incite the movement, you know, and carry on. I was always told Mother Teresa was once quoted by saying, "Honey, if you want me to be on the side of protesting, honey," she said, "no, don't invite me to the anti-war rally, honey. You invite me to the peace rally, you know." Mm-hmm. And that there is you know, this is like that particular message, you know, reincarnated in some degree. So yes. Oh yeah, I'm sitting up here, I'm rocking. I'm just rocking. Okay. Now, what I am going to do, let me bring in K.Y.D Works. K.Y.D, I'm gonna open up your mic, and I'm gonna bring you up in here with Carlethal and our special guest surprise, Miss Bree Cooper over here. Okay, what's up, K.Y.D?
Yeah, I'm in the building. Salutations, y'all. How y'all doing?
How are you?
It's all gravy on the scene. Now here, I wanted to bring you in and kind of like overlap everything, because you two brothers here are on the precipice of a movement that I believe is going to really change a lot within this young dynamic. You know, that youthful dynamic, and within you guys is the bracket. You guys are right there with your fingers on the pulse. You're right there interacting with everything, and those of us who are quote unquote the old fogies now, you know, who may not have the patience or may not understand the voice of what you guys are up against with the way the world is changing now. Kid, explain it from your particular perspective. What is it that is your message that you want your music to sit down and say to the world, and as you're on this movement of peace across the land and carrying on with hands up, you know, give us what your perspective is and your message in your music.
Well, my personal perspective, as you know, Kid Works, the artist, the father, you know, personal trainer, it's all the same that it all boils down to the education, and not just the educational system, but the education, like the homie said, starting within the home. Now, as for the same message that goes along with the Don't Shoot program, the Stop Don't Shoot program, it coincides. So that's why I was able to put my all into the program and get behind the program, because at the end of the day, there's not enough understanding of the true misuse of firearms, and not just firearms, but specifically for us with the Don't Shoot program, with firearms across this country, the misuse and inappropriate use of firearms, the misappropriation of power by those that wield the firearms that have been charged to protect us from sometimes ourselves, but have actually ended up becoming, for many, the enemy. Now, beyond homicide, we have the suicide by gun rate. So we we do educate in as many ways as possible those on what the numbers are, the statistics, and then try to get and work towards getting behind the psychology and understanding the psychology of the person that you're dealing with, because everyone is coming from their own walk of life. We all have a similar human experience, but because our walks of life are different, we see it through tinted shades. And it takes a certain type of person to be able to put on every pair of shades and still see the same image. And then at the same time put on every pair of shades and see what everyone else is seeing, so that way you can connect with each person. Now, me, I'm not a conscious rapper, so I don't ever do an interview or go to a show and, speak and then say, now you're about to get, a real deep conscious song for me, because that might not be what the crowd is calling for. That might not be what you're getting out of my
vibe. Right. Dig it.
But I, as an individual, I'm a conscious individual, because, again, I'm a single father. I have a younger brother. I have younger cousins. I have older brother, older cousins. I have family that are going to be affected by gun violence in some way, shape, or form, and have already been affected by gun violence in some way, shape, or form, directly and or indirectly. So for me to not have a conscious view or refute the fact that I have to actually be active in this because it does affect me. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've done what I've done in my life and learned from my experience. So now I try to teach those through my experience. Now, everyone's not going to learn through your words, so I don't sit here and say I'm your preacher or teacher or even here to truly show you the way. All I can do is give you what it is that I have, what it is that I know, and to the best of my ability, articulate it to each demographic so that it can be understood and digested and hopefully received.
Dig that. Okay, now let's go here within that particular dynamic, because, again, coming up in here with the genre of hip-hop, a lot of times, just as you said, depending on the vibe of the crowd, it may, sometimes not so much as the message being altered, but the delivery have to be altered. What has been the biggest challenge that you find when it's time to present the message? What do you think has been a challenge for you, and then the overall challenge within getting it out?
I think for me at this particular moment, I'm not having a problem getting the message out. At one point in the very beginning, maybe there was a little bit of a couple of roadblocks in the way, but there was never really a real issue getting the message out, because for the message to get out, you just need to literally speak it. Okay. That's all it takes, is you speaking. And then on top of you speaking it, you showing it. You being there for certain rallies, or you just showing face at certain events. That's what it takes. Now, when I do shows, like I just did a show Sunday night, the Freeway. I was over there, Freeway, big shout out to the big homie Freeway. He was over there at the 5 spot in Brooklyn. Now, behind the scenes, mix and mingle, I talk to everybody that's there. I let them know what it is that I do. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, when I get on stage, I have to now switch modes and give them the performance that they came for. But when the show is over, we're going to go back to building and politicking about what it is that's going on, exchange information, and see how it is that we can help each other in the long run. So, me personally, because I'm never the dude that goes, I'm 6'3", 218 pounds. I look like I play sports. I look like I actually play football. So a lot of people will look at me and automatically think, yo, this dude going to probably come in here with a chip on his shoulder, or he look like he going to mean mug, or he think he's better than somebody. There's misconceptions based on an appearance. So when I go to an event, I'm the first one with a smile on my face. I'm the first one going up shaking hands. I don't care if I'm by myself and there's 20 dudes standing there. I'm going to shake everybody's hand and introduce myself. Yo, my name is K.Y.D Works. This is what I do from 88.1 FM, WARY, Don't Shoot program, and that's how you have to disarm people. Because most of us have our guard up, and especially in the urban area where it's a lot of ego, we're driven by our egos. We're driven by this perception of what's tough and what is and what isn't. So a lot of people go to events and they don't shake hands. They don't introduce. So if they had a message, the message didn't get out because they had their cool face on. They were too cool. So I go in there and I do what I'm supposed to do. So me personally, I never have an issue getting my message out.
Okay, well, cool. Now, if it's not your message, what is it that my generation need to understand about your generation? Where is the disconnect? Because, for us to sit down there to have that to bridge that gap, what do you believe needs to happen?
And that right there that's the serious question, and that is something that
I would love to chime in on that one. Can I chime in on that
please.
one?
Go ahead.
I'll say this, just as a classical singer, I think what needs to happen, honestly, and to bridge that gap, to get rid of that disconnect, I really think it is so important that adults and people who have more life experiences, but it doesn't matter what age. You can have a lot of life experience and be 20. You can have a lot of life experience and be 60. I think that once you become an adult, it is so important I'm telling you, this changed my life. Go to the closest inner city public school and volunteer for at least 6 months to a year, like an entire school year. I'm telling you, It will open your eyes. It will get rid of any sort of well, how come I don't understand them? You'll understand them plenty. And that experience changed my life. Being able to, I received a grant. It was like $10,000 several years ago to literally go into school, to a inner city public school, and teach opera. And that's what I did. For my case, it was 6 weeks. But I was in almost every school there was, and we did an amazing job. But then I got invited to actually be part of the staff by teaching music. And I said, I don't have any education background. All these kids needed was a place to have a creative outlet.
Wow.
And you learn so much from them. I ended up with new teacher of the year. I ended up with outstanding teacher of the year. And literally it was because I think the fact that I could understand where the kids were coming from, and then I understood the fact that all that matters is exposure and reaching back and sharing all of your knowledge, like everything you do. It could be you're a great organizer, and you go into one of these schools and teach these kids. You spend time with them. You're not even talking about a lesson plan, really. You're just sharing what you do. And right. I'm telling you, that is the key. I came out with such a better understanding.
I'm adding to what Bridget is saying. I agree with her on a lot of points, but what I will say about being able to reach, again, you're talking about reaching the masses at that point. How do you reach the youth, and how do you get the adults, your generation, involved and interested? I think that you cannot plan this, unless you have just that. If you are selected, I believe if you are selected spiritually, if you are selected as an individual, if you are hand-selected to do that, not every artist is selected and can do that. Some artists are just able to grace people with just pop music in general and do dance music and make people just dance. Some artists can just stand there and perform and make you cry. They're hand-selected to do these particular things. When you have an artist that can reach the masses, you don't have those type of questions because that artist has been selectively picked for that one thing. If we look at the late,
there are too many outstanding.
Michael Jackson, for example. Michael Jackson was a phenomenal artist because he was hand selected. He can touch a young, an old, it didn't matter what age range, but he was hand selected. I believe that even for someone like him, even if he was able to get in the lab and say, I'm going to help write this record, to reach the masses, he just had it in him. It was given to him. This is a talent that you just given, and you don't know sometimes at the early stages of your career. You may acquire that in the late stages of your career. But again, not every artist, and if you're an artist out there, we'll take the Happy record in today's time, the Pharrell record. We haven't heard another record like Happy from Pharrell. Why? Because he was hand selected to do that one particular record. Is he the hand selected artist to keep doing it? Maybe not. But he had that one record that, even if we take the likes like Jay-Z still to this day has not made a record, no matter how phenomenal he is on a business aspect, on a music aspect, and selling artists. That artist still has not done something that Pharrell has done with one record like Happy. So I just think you got to be hand selected. It's that lightning in that bottle that you get sometimes, and some people like Michael Jackson are able to keep going with it. Some people can just do it once, and some people just never get it. You just not.
But there are too many uncontrollable factors in it, though. No, there are too many variables in that situation. We have a great artist, which I really believe that God has put all of us on this earth, and God has definitely given each one of us enough to survive, like our talent. Mm-hmm. Many of us haven't even tapped into it. We don't understand it. And I'm telling you, if you travel the world and you can get out there, you'll be able to tap into that. But you can't tell me that we are not put on this earth and we have enough. You know what I mean? And I really think that for many of the mainstream artists,
I'm not battling what you're saying.
Yeah, I know, but there are many of the mainstream artists. They have many.
I'm saying the life experience. I agree with you with that, and you have to be experienced in different diversities.
No, but there are all the other stuff that goes, the machines that are out there that help to put their name out there. The big corporate machines, and they all signed with labels at one point, some point, and they are all with a huge label. They all have millions and millions of dollars that can actually be afforded to go into and make it seem like they're hand selected. I do believe that there's a passion in how they want to reach the audience, but I also think that they have more support financially to do that. And I think as an independent artist, and this is where they are learning now from us, because if you talk to any independent artist that's putting their music out by themselves, alone, whatever, beating the midnight oil, going to work 9 to 5 and still doing it, now these artists are learning from us that, you know what, I'd rather have my name and be able to reach people the way I need to, and it will travel how it's going to travel, instead of having some sort of corporation or somebody in my pocket telling me how to brand myself or tell me what message I need to put out there. So now you have technology, which is great.
I dig all of that, but I'm part of it. I just want to actually jump back to specifically what Beach had actually asked about what is going to bridge the older generation, ergo 40s, 50s, 60s, with the younger generation. My generation's 20-year-olds, 24-year-olds, 19-year-olds, my brother's generation, my younger cousin's generation. The music is one thing. It's cool. It's a vehicle. Everyone should understand the concept of music being a vehicle when you get into the business, because the longevity, especially in hip-hop, is not the same as it is in other art forms of music, as in, pop or R&B. The longevity is not there. So just touching on that, if you're not business-minded and you're not getting into this to use this as a vehicle to run, own, operate, and create more business in your neighborhood for yourself and those that you love, then really what you're doing is a beautiful hobby that's getting you paid for a little bit, but possibly won't pan out in the long run. Now, back to the exact question of what is going to bridge the older generation with the younger when it comes to the movement, the message, the violence, what's destroying the urban areas, and honestly, even certain suburban areas that are plagued with more suicide rate than the urban areas. But again, people aren't actually educated or privy to the information, because it's not what you're going to see on Fox 5 News or Channel 11 News.
Right.
What's going to truly bridge that is, again, going to be a person that's not saying, let me go into the elementary school and talk. Cool, that works, those programs work, but I've been in those schools. I've been in those programs. And when it boiled down to it, it didn't stop a single thing. Having a creative outlet is something that you use when you need to release energy that might be built up. That's a beautiful thing. But when it comes to my cousin getting shot down, or my brother getting shot, or my peers getting killed by those that are charged to protect us, these songs aren't going to be what unites the people. It's the soundtrack. It's the background music to what's happening. But it's not going to be the end-all, be-all, or even a true facet at the end of the day of what's going to stop that. Legislation is what's going to stop that. People standing up together, understanding what the business aspect is of the violence, why they have certain amounts of violence, why certain police forces have the weaponry that they have, why the SWAT to go into certain neighborhoods the way that they are. They need to understand the actual politics of this, the psychology of this. Music is a beautiful thing. I was raised. I love it. It is my cathartic release. It should be every artist's cathartic release. Cathartic, and you just want to be explorative, then more power to you as well. But when it comes to the real issues of what's happening outside of the booth and the music, when I'm out in Brooklyn and 2 blocks away somebody just got killed, the song's not going to help their family. But someone coming into their community, not just the school, but the community, talking to community leaders, initiating programs that are aimed at educating, reforming, and truly changing, that is what's going to bridge the gap. That and that alone is what's going to truly bridge the gap, because music is music. It'll always be there. But having leaders, not bosses who are going to command you, but leaders who are going to walk on the line with you, stand at the forefront with you. When those shots are fired, possibly get hit with you, that's what's going to make the difference. And to bridge the gap, it can't be a 50-year-old. And the only reason I say that is because, unfortunately, an 18-year-old is not going to look at the 50-year-old as in and say, I can relate to you. But if that 25-year-old who might have that air about them as if they might be 35 can then hopefully relate to the 50-year-old. And the 50-year-old can hopefully relate to them because they might see something of themselves in that person. And then again, that 18-year-old can say, well, you're not really that much older than me. Why is it that you think the way you think? It takes this generation. It takes the people between the ages of right now, 18 and 35. Right now, it takes that age group to make the biggest difference. But it's going to take the 50-year-olds that are in politics still, the 45-year-olds that are the community leaders and have the people to follow them and have the ear of certain groups. It's going to take that collaboration. The music, if it was just by the music and you heard one of my songs, you'd probably think I was ignorant. Not you personally, but there are many people that will have that impression, that I probably can't articulate. I'm probably not educated. I'm probably just another hood brother because of a song. So I definitely would never say that the music can even be, for me at least, what's going to be used to get that message out. It's going to be the voice of the man behind the music, the actions of the man behind the music, the actions of the collective.
You know what? Let me do this because, I don't know, this one particular song here I'm about to play, I think demonstrates what you just said. I'm going to play the show. Hold on. Y'all listen to this. Come on and load up, child. This is not. Come on. Right now, get it on.
Yeah. You're ready to watch me fail, not disappoint. Still pushing the issues until they get to point. My mind is the double-edged sword. I'll lead you where the choice. Follow me as I rise off. Get the point. No time for games, like the clock stops. Many rise to fame, but have no shot. I stay in my lane like I see flashing lights. Think you know who I am? Wait until the night. Mission fails to enhance self. I'm out of sight. Blind men in the dark, the journey is a fight. Leaving mine behind, nah, I ain't the type. Bring your death to promote life, this shit I like. Worse, no time for your silly games, I need to go. Doing more than you'll ever see, no need to know. Niggas that stand there where I am lost, you need to grow. The world is my stage, welcome to the show. No time for silly games, I need to go. Doing more than you'll ever see, no need to know. Niggas just standing where I am lost, you need to grow. The world is my stage, welcome to the show. Still stand on my soapbox, so can I preach? I see the world through black tints, I need to teach. In the race with self, the goal's in reach. No rest for the wicked, so I don't ever sleep. Fuck if you get the message lost, I'm out of time. Bitches that hungry, you're out of luck, I won't spend a dime. Giving myself to these lyrics, a back to life of crime. Live for the moment, cause since birth, I've been dying. Never one for the silly game, my time short. This the dirge for the heretics, the black door. Behind the curtains, the mad go, transform. When I'm gone, my grave is what they dance on. No time for your silly games, I need to know. Doing more than you ever see, no need to know. Niggas are standing with all your lost, you need to grow. The world is my stage, welcome to the show. Works.
Yeah, like songs act like that, man.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. When I heard this, I was like, okay, this is deep, because it sits down and it sets the platform for just that, and just what you were just saying as far as, the voice of the people, this particular age, this particular generation, we have to allow them the platform to have their voices heard without it being trampled over, without it being compromised, without it being adulterated by my generation, who feel as though you may not be, your approach may not be acceptable, or my generation may not even like the message. How about that one? That it's being said because we don't understand it, or maybe we don't want to understand it. Maybe we think we done became so jaded with how life was and not embracing the change that life is going into. You know what I'm saying? And now personally, I think that what everyone have just said, it's a combination of all of that, because I don't believe that it's just one solution. And I think that's one of the areas that we get involved in, is that we're trying to find a one-size-fit-all solution when the problem or the situation is too massive for it to be just one solution. Right. I think it is a combination of everything that was said in order to make that happen, because that bridge, one thing about a bridge, honey, is that it's not just one continuous slate of concrete that goes over. There's slate, there's mortar, there's steel beams, there's rods, and all of that put together creates this bridge. And so with that, I believe it's the myriad of all of those things that come together to build that bridge, so that the young and the old, or the younger voices and I would say the newer voices versus the seasoned voices can still be heard, and that the newer voices are able to get out there and they could come to the front line sometimes. I believe a lot of times us who've been on that front line for so long, we say that we're tired, but that's all we know how to do is be on that front line. We're afraid to give it up, and that is one of the things. I like what you said, Kid, as far as, us being able to educate one another. But when we say educate, what do we really mean by that? Let's break that down, because it becomes such a an umbrella term to say educated. But when we're talking about a movement of peace, when we're talking about, hands up, don't shoot, and carrying on, when we're talking about these things of understanding the politics of how this works, when we have a whole complete generation of folks who don't even want to vote anymore, and they're not even vote, and let's take the voting out of it, who don't even want to get to understand how the stuff works. They don't even want to understand how this. All they want are the benefits of it, but they don't want to get into the machine of how. They don't want to sit down there. Just like getting into a car, I just want to get into the car and drive, but honey, every now and again you got to go learn how to check that oil. You got to know the gas fuel is done. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to put the antifreeze in when it's cold or whatever the case is. But a lot of us don't want to get our hands dirty. So when we say educate, break that down for me.
For me, educate means to enlighten. So not necessarily be talking about. You can learn and teach through education, but the bottom line is education is enlightening whomever you were speaking with. It could be kids, it could be adults, it could be, anyone who is listening, that you're just trying to enlighten them about anything that's going on in society. And this has been going on. People always forget that even way back in ancient Greece, I mean, how did society start to learn, and how did they become a positive part of society? It was through art.
It was the art.
It was through music.
Yeah.
It was through literature. It was also through the academics, and as as physical fitness. Those were the core things long before academics came about saying you had to be this. And philosophy. Those were the tools that people thought, you know what, in order to be able to contribute to society, you need to know these things. You need to know about art. You need to know about music. You need to know about physical fitness. You need to know about philosophy and how the world thinks.
That's
and
right.
how you can enlighten the world. And this is ancient Greece.
That's right.
And we have gotten so far from that. Instead, we're taking out all of those core things that make up a person, and we're like, oh, you need more math. You need more English. You need more, which is important. But the foundation of it really came, society, you could tell what was going on in society all the way up to the Baroque movement, Romantic era, everything, the Ars Nova, through music, literature, and art, all combined, all the time. So how you reach is enlightening through how you speak, how you write, and what you're listening to. You can tell the type of person depending on, what they're listening to.
Wow.
I could always tell when my ex-husband came through the house and he was ticked off about something, I would always ask, what were you listening to? And it was all someone who, an artist who was always cursing in the music. It makes you angry. Or it can enlighten you and make you think about things, because even some of Jay-Z's stuff, I'm not a huge fan, but some of his stuff, it really makes you think. And that's the part about education. It makes you think. It doesn't mean you have to take that route. It just means, you know what, let me share with you the knowledge that I know so that maybe you can see it from a different perspective and want to get involved. And I think that's what music does for many people. Our literature does it. If you're a writer, if you're into fine arts, that's what does it as well. But all these things are so instrumental in society. It's important that we reach all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And communicate through all of those mediums.
Okay, Carlethal, what are your thoughts on that?
I think they really set it within a home. It all goes back to what I was saying earlier. With I still stand my firm points on being hand selected and being able to be there and be the artist that graces a particular type of genre. You might be the gangster artist that might be able to write some or perform some gangster music that might just reach that crowd better than I can. I might be able to reach the masses. It might be more believable coming from you than it is coming from me. So I think, even on the aspect of, when you get out there, what's going to end up happening is they're going to actually check your collar. They're going to end up checking your collar when you're out there as an artist. If you're a peace artist, they're going to make sure you're about peace. If you're a gangster, you're talking about gangster stuff, they're going to make sure that, you're official. They're going to check your collar. Someone's going to come out there and claim you, or nobody's going to claim you. And I think that's what makes the difference. If you're doing same thing, if you're doing classical music, I think someone has to come and claim you and say, hey, that's a real classical artist that you need to really listen to. And, what they say is bond. Every word that comes out of their mouth is bond. Their music is bond, So it's almost like at the stage where it doesn't matter what you make anymore. You're just that actual voice and brand for that particular type of movement, whatever that movement is, whether it's a peace movement, whether it's, a movement that gets people angry and you're able to tap into people's anger, or you're just talking about the hood or whatever it is. So that's just my take on that.
All right. Well, listen, Kid, I'm going to start with you because I want folks to understand where they can find you, where they can understand your message, where they can get. I want one of those shirts. I told you that the last time you were here, I got to get me one of those shirts. So where can folks find your work, get involved with your program, understand what it is, to give us all of that?
They can always go to KYDworks.com, KYDWORKS.com. All social media, Facebook, Instagram, it's called KYDWorks. Twitter is KYDWorks. For those that want to specifically find it, Don't Shoot, they can go to Facebook and just look up Don't Shoot. That website is under construction right now for Don't Shoot. And then I'm all over the 5 boroughs. I'm honestly traveling everywhere. A lot of my information has been disseminated through all of the platforms that have been offered and given to me. People that have given me the opportunity to speak on their radio shows, BossNet, Montgomery. So honestly, anything online, I'm pretty easy to find. I'm the only Kid Works. There's other kids, there's Kid, there's 50 kids. I'm the only Kid Works. So pretty easy to find.
Okay. Carlethal, where can they find you?
You can always go a simple way of finding is urbanrockmusic.com. You can find all the Instagrams there, which is Carlethal1 on my Instagram. We have Twitter there, Carlethal also. Carlethal, Carlethal, for those who want to get the correct spelling. But again, you can go to www.urbanrockmusic.com. You can also, when you go on the Instagram, we have an extra Instagram is under Carlos.Bonfante, and that's the fitness side of all this music stuff. We also have intertwined, with peace. We have put in the actual physical, so we're also going in on the health aspect of things. That's where you can find everything.
All right, well, cool beans. Bridge, Bree, I'm going to call you Bridge.
That's okay. I have so many of it. Oh, my God. I get Bridge,
Okay.
I get Bree, I get Bridgie. Yeah.
Okay. Come on through, because with your collaboration with Carlethal on this, I think this here, how prophetic is this? Because here you are, your name being Bridge, and we're talking about being the bridge between the generations, and then yet this collaboration with you and Carlethal of bridging opera and hip hop together for this particular piece. This is a very prophetic moment right here for me.
True.
Okay.
True.
How can they find? Where can they find you? Because I know you guys are both on the particular project or whatever. Give them your information as well, because we are bridging this particular gap. We just done this with this particular song.
Yeah.
So where can they find you?
Thanks to you. You can find me at BreeCooper.net. That's B as in boy, R-I, Cooper, COOPER.net, BreeCooper.net. And there you can actually click any link you like. You can find out social media. You can click onto my interviews that I've done. You can click on to a link to the radio show that I host, which is called Opera Luscious, and we talk about all things where opera meets lifestyle. So pretty much BreeCooper.net. So that's your one hub for everything, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. My music you can actually find on CD Baby, Bree Cooper. Might have Bree Cooper mezzo soprano. Also Spotify, also iTunes, also Dr. Dre's Beats Music. He has now invited me to do classical, so I'm actually one of the few classical people in there. So it's Bree Cooper, mezzo soprano. And I just found out my CD is, like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got the notification, was number one in MP3 downloads for Amazon in the UK, yep. So I was really excited about that. But that's where you can pretty much reach me, BreeCooper.net, and everything is right there for your easy access. And one more thing, Meech, I am going to make a donation to your play. So I'm yes. So you do so many great things for performing artists, and I just want you to know that I'm going to make a contribution to making sure it gets done and it is a success for your premiere.
Well, thank you, sweetie. I'm for bridging that gap, girl. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, let me do this because I should have asked. This should have been one of the first questions, but I wanted to really get into this. And, Carlethal, I'm going to start with you because I got to get to the meaning behind this name. What does this name mean, Carlethal?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't hear what you said. You cut
I
off
was
on me.
saying, give us the definition of this name. When we say Carlethal, I'm like, who? Yes.
All right. Well, it's very simple. My first name is, from birth is Carlos. That's why I say Carlos da Bonfante. And then the second, most people will say, from young to, however they want to call you, or they might even say you at an older age, they say Carlito, I put it in a different form, which is Carlethal, years ago, based upon, my lifestyle, and I would deliver things in my life, and I said, when I would always deliver things, it would be almost compared to a lethal dose of whatever it is. So, when I got with doing my music, I would always go real strong and hard with it all the way. So I would say, I would always give you the lethal dose. So I put the first name Carl, and instead of saying lethal with an O, I should put lethal.
Well, all righty then. Now, K.Y.D, Kid Works.
Yeah.
Give us. I'm gonna let you do it because I already know, but I want you to give it to the audience. Okay. Tell the audience what this means and why this is so significant for you.
What, the name?
Yes.
Well, the name KYD is an acronym. KYD stands for Killing Your Demographic, and it works. Killing Your Demographic works because, again, based on someone hearing a song, they're going to feel they know who a person is, or they have an impression based on me walking into a room with a do-rag on and a fitted, or, they're going to look at me and assume that they know who I am. But based on my ability to articulate and the fact that I can basically transcend any boundary, nothing's going to hold me back because mentally I'm not confined. I've seen all the walks of life. I've been incarcerated. I've been on the good side of the fence. I've been on the bad side of the fence. So my name embodies who and what I am. I'm a person that's not bound by the demographic. My demographic might have originally just been hip-hop. The fact that, again, I can run a radio show, I can put together events that I've been doing now for 2 years, and I can bring together all walks of life. Whether it's the goths, whether it's the sci-fi geek squad, whether it's Comic-Con kids or the college kids or the cats out the hood that haven't traveled yet, I bridge it. I make it so that we all see each other for what we are. So my name is an embodiment of what my essence is.
Well, dig that. Now, let me ask you this. As a single father, one of the things that our young black men face, is the whole idea of the baby daddy syndrome. We got baby mamas, but the baby daddy syndrome, and, I don't think a lot of our single fathers out there get the support that they need. How is it that you're able to keep your integrity and yet, still be true to the music, true to what you're trying to do, true to raising your child? What is that dynamic for you in this particular space and time? I'm gonna give that to you. Probably do in a minute.
All right, I have an extremely supportive group around me. My family we're real tight knit, we're real hands on. And I've been under a lot of their tutelage, like my mentor, my manager, Angelo Ellaby. A lot of the lessons that he taught to me when I was 19, when he was working with my older brother, Free Hakeem, by the way. When he was working with him, a lot of those lessons, they didn't stick at the time because I was still caught up in my ego, still caught up in my attitude. I wasn't really ready to grow. But now, in my true adulthood, as I'm always growing, a lot of those lessons came back, and he still provided me with opportunity to grow. So I'm able to be the father that I need to be because I want to be number one, and I have those around me that are pushing for it to happen. all aspects, not just fatherhood, but all aspects of me being the man that I'm here to be and growing into. And I have a very powerful, profound group around me, and you know, if it wasn't for them, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be exactly who I am right now. But I have people I can lean on.
All right, Carlethal, for you as a father of two, particularly two girls, you know.
Yes. How do I see it?
Yeah, how is it that you're maintaining the integrity of who you are as an artist, you know, and maintaining the work, maintaining the music, and yet still being able to maintain your fatherhood without just being a baby daddy?
It's funny because I'm like 100% father to my daughters in their life. I am, you know, if you look at me, I am father and I am mother, nonstop with it, you know. I've been able to find the balance. I think I've been doing music for so long that for me it's almost like a natural instinct, you know, since I had my daughters. I did take a pause and slowed down, not stopped, but, you know, slowed down a bit with particular projects when the first was born. And since then, I think I've just been on autopilot. You know, I think it's natural. I think you know, with me, I've always saw my dad and my mom in the house, so that's what I gravitated to. I always wanted the same for my actual daughters, you know, to have both figures in the household. So that's really where I'm at. So I think for me, it's been more natural. I don't want to take any credit and say, hey, I'm a good father. I mean, it's a bad father. You know, who wants to be a bad father? You know, so I would just say I'm just doing what any man or any adult or any father in his right state of mind would do. I'm being a father.
All right.
You know?
Well, c'est la vie. Okay, well, c'est la vie. Well, you know what? This here has been, it's been a real conversation. It's been a real conversation, and I'm glad that we've taken this time to shed some light on a much-needed discussion, and I believe that what we're doing right now is basically just, you know, we done stepped on the stone, and one of the things that I do know, honey, that the only difference between a stumbling block and the stepping stone is perception, how one perceive it to be. And I believe that if we take this right step and move forward, that we're still able to bridge these gaps, and that we're able to get a peace movement going. We're able to get the guns down and don't shoot. You know, we're able to sit down there and to bridge the gap and let the cultures come together so that folks can educate themselves on how to express themselves in all forms of the arts and through creative expression, and that it is received well. And in its reception, we're able to then disseminate the information that's needed so that folks can grow and continue to do better. Because one of the things that I think that my generation has did a disservice to the generation behind us is that we have not given you guys the proper tools. You know, we've talked about them, but I don't think that we've done the right thing by giving you the proper tools needed to carry you further. I think that there is something that we need to take a look into and pick it up. You know, if we may not have given you the tools, but damn it, that means sometimes we got to get back out there in the field and help you work it then. You know, and that there is also one of the solutions, because I think some of us have thrown up our hands too early and figure as though, well, hell, I done my part. I used to have teachers say that. I got mine, you got to get yours, and I hated that. But I think that mantra is starting to echo in the bowels of society now, and we have done the disservice to the younger generation. So I applaud you, brothers, for coming on in and for willing to put your running shoes on and sometimes your boxing gloves to come on out here and do this dance with us. Bree, I thank you for being able to come on board, someone who is of my generation, and saying, okay, you know what, let's give this a chance. And even though it was a labor of love, we now have product that says this works. This works, and that it does what it does, and it's going to do what it needs to do. So for all of you, thank you for coming on. I'm going to let you guys get back to the rest of your day. And I'm going to sit down and lay down because, as we were talking about earlier, I still got to go to the JOB this evening. Aha! So,
thanks for having me on your show, Mitch.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And listen, anytime, the platform is here. This is here, okay? This is why Edition T was created. This is the platform, honey. So anytime any of you got something you need to say, want to introduce or whatever, bring it here. I welcome it. I welcome you with open arms, and we're able to get it out there the way that it needs to be so that the folks can hear it and then give you the opportunity to explain whatever you need to explain, teach it how you need to teach it, and then let it speak for itself afterwards. You hear me? So that there's love.
Well, this is the last thing I'd like to say. We will be back on at some point. This is just, I call it the second wave. You know, me and Bree been here before. We're here together now, and this is just the second wave. The third wave is going to be even more astronomical. So stay tuned. Late spring, mid-spring, early summer. It's coming.
All right.
Coming. That Peace and the project is just coming so hard.
Well, dig that. Dig that.
All right.
Dig that. All right, then. All right. Well, I thank you all for coming on. Y'all go kiss those beautiful babies for me. Let them know Uncle Meat say hey. Okay. And I will. I'm looking forward to this next invitation, honey. So y'all keep in touch with me, and we will go on from there. Wow. Okay, I'm sitting up here. I'm in a muse right now, y'all. I'm in a muse because it's like, just right now. I'm in a state of reflection, in a state of wonderment, and carrying on because now I just feel as though it's time to take the next step. What can I do now to educate the next wave of this? You know, and I like the statement that went out. Education is not just a book, honey, or whatever. It's understanding about enlightenment and standing in your truth. Whatever your truth is, you cannot be afraid of your truth, honey, because that's what makes you. You know, you're good, you're bad, you're indifferent. That's your truth. Stand in it because it's yours. And one of the things about it is that your truth may not necessarily be universal truths, but your truth contributes to the universal truth because without your truth, you would not exist. So that there, yes. I love that. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, honey, we have just been blessed with K.Y.D Works, Mr. Carlethal, and our special guest, honey, Ms. Bree Cooper, who coming on, honey, and letting you know about this movement we call peace. Okay? Don't shoot. Shit. Okay? I'm saying it. Hell, don't shoot. Okay? We got to get the brothers. Y'all heard kids say it all day. We got to understand the politics behind it. You got to get into understanding how the damn machine works. And you cannot be afraid to let your voice be heard. Okay? You didn't hear Carlethal say, honey, it is about understanding that it's about enlightenment with you. Sometimes some are chosen. Some are the ones who may have the appeal. Those of you who don't have the appeal doesn't mean that you don't have any work to do. You still are out there to make sure that you make a difference. You count, you matter. You have to educate yourself in order to figure out, get in where you fit in. That's what this thing is all about. And together, we can then make the movement abundant. Listen, I want y'all to pay attention to something because there was a movement called ACTA when the whole HIV thing hit and it was a whole big to-do. ACTA became the conglomerate that it did because it wasn't just about gay men or whatever dying from AIDS. It became a universal thing. When the women's group said, no, we need to be involved in this because we found out that women were dying from this disease. When it was the senior citizens group, they said, no, we need to get involved with you too because our demographic is being affected by this. And when others came together, then they came in numbers to support the overall good. So just because you don't feel as though you fit a demographic, I like how Carlethal said that. I may not be the gangster rapper because, I can't get up there and give the message because they don't see me as authentic. But if you're going to come come in your truth and then unite to fight the fight. If that's what your truth is, to come to do this. And that's where it is. That's where it is. That's where it is. And I think if we all embrace that we're able to move further. And it's never about, who's right or who's wrong, because everybody is right in some regard. Now, how the delivery may be, now that may be up for debate. But the whole thing is there is no right or wrong answer when you're doing something to come in to make a difference in the world. It's all good if it's going to help to grow and to make a difference. So that there should be the lesson. So right now, honey, I got to get something to drink. I just talked myself dry. How about that? Ha! So having said that, honey, finish all of your crumpets because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, darlings. With Big Meech. If you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this, one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, this thing here that I'm doing will move forward, okay? Now, join me tomorrow at our regular time, 1 o'clock, because we will be sitting up. We will be talking with Bunny DeBarge. Yes, that's right. She was, she's El DeBarge's sister. We're singing with the group DeBarge. She will be with us tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And she's going to be talking about her truth and standing in her truth, okay? So we're going to get into that tomorrow. And then also join us Thursday because the crooner himself, honey, Big Daddy's coming back. And that there is Lenny Williams will be with us again. I call him the godfather of the musical male emotion, because can't nobody drop that male emotion and get you to understand how men feel the way Lenny Williams does. So he'll be with us tomorrow. So right now what I am going to do, I'm going to leave us with this sentiment from K.Y.D Works. He said, gift is a curse. Damn it. Why do I got commercials on the song?
I pray that you hear this. I know the time is short. The message has been lost to the masses. But I'm here. I woke up to the whispers, demons and devils in my ear saying you are not the same as your peers. In my mind on a precipice, human weapon, bitch, I'm a soul keeper. Anime style, alcohol the soul reaper. Made it there with all forces at 16. Now music to my ears, hearing the bitch scream. Catch a homily, the murder scene pristine. 30-30 long scope in a blue beam. It seems that my gift is a curse. Nailed to a galder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devils, or ride in a hearse. What's worse on my heart is a black dot. Mask on, cause hell needs a mascot. I spark the flame that'll consume the whole world. As long as you spare my family and my girl. NYC got me cocky. I slip the throw slow if you're fucking with Moxie. My flow dope, I just throw the shit oxy. My light is a dog and you will never stop me. Attached to your soul, how the fuck can you drop me? Gift is a curse, kneel to a golder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devil, so ride in a hearse. Land is the damned and the blind, Lord, it hurts. Gift is a curse, gift is a curse. Kneel to a golder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devil, so ride in a hearse. Land is the damned and the blind, Lord, it hurts. Gift is a curse, born in the fire. Prince of the air, so the flames burn higher. Seven still broken, the angels have spoken. The veil will be lifted, and this is the moment. Lands the blind, and my third eye pitch black. The force of love is the only way to switch back. Devil told me that the world of a nice man, and a voice that make a bitch want to pipe now. Living a dream, I'm the one from your nightmare. The God in me told the devils never fight fair, but I might as well be David with the 5 rings. Command demons and angels with black wings. I seen it all in a glimpse with my third eye. I'm with survive, die. I step inside the flame and let the beats rise. This is the moment that the shepherd let the sheep die. Gift is a curse, kneel to a golder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devil, so ride in a hearse. Dance with the damned and the blind for the hearse. Gift is a curse, gift is a curse. Kneel to a golder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devil, so ride in a hearse. Lands with the damned and the blind for the hearse. Gift is a curse, gift is a curse. Kneel to a golder, lie in the dirt. Ride for the devil, so ride in a hearse. Land with the damned and the blind for the hearse. Gift is a curse.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Okay, time out. You're gonna let your budget be the boss of you? Take control with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay for car insurance, and we'll help you find options that fit your budget. Here's some music to get you pumped. Da-dong, 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 dang, dang. I hear your budget laughing at you. Oh, wait, that's just those kids laughing at me. Ignore them! Da-dong, da-dong,
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.